Hello, friends. I'm here to share with you how I started recovering from some level of amnesia and trauma memories in sort of manageable pieces of information without much effort. So, to give you just a quick 1 minute history of my background, before recovering in depth from PTSD, I was deep in the New Age for 2 to 3 decades before I gave my life to Christ in July of 2021. Once that transformation occurred, things really unfolded in a very unexpected way. So I had this sort of idea that life as a Christian was a simple life and an easy life. Oh, I was wrong. So the two things I didn't expect or anticipate were the level of spiritual attacks or spiritual warfare, and also that I would be shown my deep buried trauma and hidden past once getting saved. And some memories I definitely had stored in the conscious mind, but I didn't give them much thought, odd things about my upbringing. But when things I could recall were combined with the things that I'd suppressed that were being shown to me, really came together like pieces of a trauma puzzle. The healing process was pretty miraculous. I would say it was purely a gift of the Holy Spirit, Spirit of truth. The Holy Spirit showed me, I would get these promptings, and he would show me objects in my home, gifts, heirlooms, cards I received from certain people close to me. Combined with certain memories, it really started to synthesize my past. I'll say, though, the first 2 months of the initial stage of memory recall and what my upbringing was really about was the heavy denial stage, which I understand is really common for survivors of extreme trauma. So it's really important to push through the denial stage as best you can. Try to find a good therapist or another survivor. Honestly, I haven't had great experiences with therapists, but try to find a friend, someone outside of your immediate family, immediate, long-term relationships that you can talk to. So symbols for me were really important in the early stage of recovery. And some survivors even work through memories from doing collage, journaling, or a combination of things. Those things, I definitely found journaling to be really helpful. And I've seen some brilliant collages from survivors that are very telling of their past. Now, if your abusers were skilled in the trauma methods that create amnesia and amnesic walls between what happened, the memory, and your wake state, they likely use drugs. That's the most common method, or mind control techniques such as NLP or hypnotism, shock treatment, electroshock, or a combination of things. And they banked on those memories never resurfacing. Some people are even skilled with programming the person to go into denial or to report what's happening in yourself when things are coming up to another person, to tell them what's happening. But typically the person that you're programmed to tell isn't a safe person, but what I like to refer to as the cult. You may be programmed to tell another cult member what's going on, and that could completely sabotage your healing process. I'm not saying don't talk to anyone, but just be aware. Now, as an adult, I often reflected on the fact that I'm unable to recall most of my childhood and even my early adult years in comparison to friends and other close people close to me, and stories, people share their childhood online or in books. And I've often wondered why I couldn't recall much, because lost months or years of time isn't typical. And it's discussed. It's widely known in psychology that it's not normal, that extreme trauma took place if you cannot recall big periods and chunks of your life. Now, I always knew that, well, not always, but I knew for quite a long time that male relatives sexually abused me. But that was the extent of my memories for a period of time, and the memories were quite vague, even with that trauma. For many survivors of mild to extreme trauma, the memories can surface, I'm told, in the 30s, or when you move away from abusers and don't have regular visits. Now, for me, I was well into middle age, so I wasn't the typical, but I'm told a lot of people recover earlier in their 30s. One fairly well-known survivor broke down after his parents forgot to drug him, and they made him set a man on fire, and that man died. The man had a psychotic break. I think he said 14 years old at the time, and he was hospitalized for several months. His parents were traffickers and were Satanists, and they were also connected to Colonel Michael Aquino, among other people. Why I share it is because it's tied into the drugging. If you're not drugged, a lot of people have a conscience, and they know that lighting someone on fire is wrong. But in a drug state, people can commit atrocities and then be programmed to forget those atrocities. For me, I do recall drugging, and one memory was with my father. He stirred a pill into a drink before bedtime, saying that it was for allergies. There were other times I passed out. I just had to nap during the holidays when family would come to visit. I literally couldn't keep my eyes open. I had to take a nap, and I felt bad about it. But if drugging was a culprit, it's definitely an effective tool to keep a targeted person or the scapegoated person in isolation, and to prevent that individual from creating a strong bond with other people in the family. Now, if you become a born-again believer, the Holy Spirit will help you to recall your memories and the memories that you are ready to handle. It's really rare for survivors that don't have a strong faith to recover in this method. They are out there. Some are even published authors. But I'd say a lot of them are believers. I cannot imagine atheists surviving trauma and doing the work, because the recovery is a tough road and not for the faint of heart. Here are 2 verses from the Bible about the Holy Spirit of truth. From John 16:13. However, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he will not speak of his own authority, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will tell you things to come. And 1 John 4:6. We are from God. He who knows God listens to us. He who is not from God does not listen to us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. So ask the Holy Spirit for questions. If you want help in your recovery and you want to work with the Holy Spirit and you're a believer, seek his guidance. Not only will the Holy Spirit guide you into what you need in the moment, he will show you the truth about people. I have found, for me, I can quickly discern a situation, place, or person with the assistance of the Holy Spirit, most of the time without asking. It just becomes conviction, a knowing on the inside of what to do or what this situation is all about and what action to take. So I pray that this message helped you, and that you recover from whatever trauma that you're suffering and PTSD, and you do so in grace, and that you are blessed.